I mean, I think all questions are fun. So, absolutely. I graduated high school in 2001. I was a sophomore in high school when his first album came out, and yeah, the who doesn't know the 8 Mile anthem? I actually reference. I call it an 8 mile. Is when you do his battle rap thing where you just say all the things that people know to be true, and then what? So, yeah, it's a. I really wish you'd bring him to practice. It would be cool.
All right, on football stuff, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they be practicing today?
As their day to day, you know, I'm, you'll see Waddle for sure. You're gonna see Tyreek out there. We're just very much monitoring him so that we can protect him against himself. Joint practice stuff based upon pass. So you'll see both of them out there today, and we're monitoring how much reps Reek gets, if at all. We'll see with the medical team.
How about Phillips?
He won't be dressed today, so
One of one of
stumped.
the big things is Aiden Hutchinson going against your offensive line. What type of challenges do you think he give your offensive line today?
Well, he's a great player, and I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to impress on our team, and Patrick's a great example, but the offensive line in general is that I'm much more concerned about ourselves, and how we play our game, and then apply it to whatever player is across from us. I prefer in practice to have the cream of the crop to go against, to sharpen our sword for the regular season. I think we get that today with Hutch. So that's exciting. Good football practice where guys are focused on getting better, while challenging each other to improve themselves and their team.
So also, you came into the league as an offensive oriented coach.
Hmm.
So what are your thoughts on the Lions offense and like offensive line since I know that's a area of your background?
Yeah, I absolutely love what Detroit has done the last couple of years. I know they're keeping the same system. The stuff that Ben Johnson put in, I think they're really well equipped to take a step even forward, just based upon the players they have, the system, the coaches that I know they have, that are improving upon what has already been really, really good. So I think it's a tremendous challenge. They give you both sound football. They give you some offsets, and then Jared Goff just does such a great job of operating the offense while being such a threat as a distributor, decision maker, and he's very smart too. So he's dissecting defenses and changing what plays there are, all sorts of that nature. So led by a franchise quarterback, an offense that knows what they're doing, that's trying to find ways to improve. I think that's an exciting thing for, if I was a Lions fan, I'd be excited about that. I'm excited today for the challenge for our defense, for sure.
Like last week, you had the scuffle during the joint practices. You jumped in. And some there was one of the Lions went off yesterday, kind of challenging the Dolphins, saying, "I know how they practice. They don't know how we practice." Do you look at those as an inevitable part of these joint practices because it's finally seeing someone else, and can they be a distraction? Because the way you jumped in, I know you were just trying to break that up last week. Can they be a distraction, or is it inevitable? It's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm very much focused, and I talked to the team a bunch about this. I'm very much focused on using practice to get better, to be best served in games. And I don't like, I like to use practice. I don't like practice to use you. And I get very impatient when things keep from us, or keep everybody from the next rep, or an opportunity for a guy going against an opponent in a joint practice, is huge, both for our team and getting to go against and another franchise getting to go against them. Bottom line is there's work to be done, and stuff that's illegal in games I have very little patience for in practice, so I try to move on to the next because the focus needs to be on our game, and anything else I don't have time for.
Do you have
Mike,
any
Mike,
reaction
whether-
to Grant Stewart essentially putting into question the practice habits of this team?
No, I don't. I mean, literally does not affect me whatsoever. I hope we get the absolute best practice from Grant and everybody else between the whistles, like that, and that makes us better. So, I think there's a lot of noise, and I would file that into the noise category.
Mike, whether based on conversations with Dan Campbell or not, would you expect the same level of physicality from the Lions that you got from the Bears in the joint practice?
I mean, I think it was very intentional to bring our organization to Detroit and practice against this team based on the football that they like to play. I think they don't take practice for granted. It appears I love I love Dan Campbell and his approach. It's very authentic. So I'm expecting people that have intensity to come to practice and challenge the opposing team who will have intensity. So I think it's a good day's work that I'm very, very focused on the football and how we grow in that area, how we handle adversity in a joint. These are all fun things, but it's about the football and nothing else.
Quick follow-up, sorry. Is there a quick follow-up? If I may, what's the biggest thing you want to accomplish over the next 2 days?
I would like to see growth in our team based on having one joint and one game, on how we improve our football within a practice. There can be a lot of focus on going against another team, and there can be a lot of focus on whatever's happening. I want our focus to be game ready, game reps, and where you're doing a play, regardless of its success or failure. You have another play. How are you going to use that play previous to do better on the next? I want to see growth within practice in all three phases, particularly after a play that we don't win. I mean, the message to the team is that we have an opportunity to go compete against another opponent, and it was about the Dolphins, and I don't really care about all the other. I know that their players like football, and their head coach does, and I want to practice against that. But beyond that, I think it's a mistake to over focus on anybody but the Miami Dolphins. So that's what I'm focused on.
Last time you saw practice, you did throw 3 interceptions. Beyond that, were there systematic things that you were either pleased or displeased with from this practice, and how do you want to see?
So there were, the obvious was the thing that's the most obvious is when you throw the ball to another team. And that's not. I want to see us improve on not having turnovers in joint for sure. That being said, to his practice, there was very productive reps within it. He did find command and had some success after the interceptions. With the exception to the last one because it was the last play, and those are the things that it's not avoiding failure. That is a game that no one's won. It is being able to take that as a competitor, and instead of living in the disappointment, transferring the thought energy to how we're going to do better, not that we're going to do better. A lot of a lot of the focus for a lot of people are results in joint practices. I think that that I could care less about. I don't even know what score a joint practice is. I'm focused on our game and how we do it, because this is all in preparation for regular season week 1.
What's the key to balancing Tyreek's workload on the joint practice? I know obviously he wants to compete, but at the same time you got to kind of safety net for himself.
There has to, I think, based on his off season where he was there every day, and he probably was, I think, he was at our facility in our 5-week time off, probably the most out of any player. And when you spend time with people, you have a relationship, and I'm counting on the relationship with the medical staff and him, because Kyle knows as our head trainer that I'm depending on him to ask the right questions and listen and be able to get in front of something if someone's going to put himself in harm's way. The good news is you instead of just wishing for that relationship to exist, Reek's put a lot of time and effort into a lot of relationships. So that one's included, and because of that, I trust that we'll do what is appropriate, but not irresponsible, for him today.
What's your thoughts on the Lions' young secondary? Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, they're all kind of merging in some
Yeah.
way. So what's your thoughts?
Well, I guess a thought would be that much of the players that you just named, were on my radar in the draft process in the last couple of years, and had a high opinion of a lot of them. So I know that much to expect. I don't know where their game is at in 2025, and so I'm excited to see that competing against our guys. That's another reason you want these opportunities, is because that's a great test. Guys get used to going against each other in specific techniques, and that's not reasonably consistent with the NFL regular season. You have to, every week there's new obstacles. So this is a great rep at that, as well as playing a very good football team, a great organization, and that we know wants to compete. And I'm excited to see how guys respond.
What do you think this point of the preseason and joint practices camp means to Afonso Melifonwu, who was here last year and is getting more incorporated into the defense?
What is my thoughts on?
What this means for him and how he's growing into the defense.
Well, I think both things can be true. I think I can hold an appreciation. Almost every week, every opponent, there's some history with the organization somewhere within the team, and I appreciate that. And generally, I talk to the individual player every time we're in those situations. However, I also think that a lot of you can get confused in your process of preparing to play football and create something, a reality that doesn't exist. It is a former team, but he's a Dolphin and he's playing football, and to make more of that kind of is short-sighted for what we're trying to do, which is train ourselves for the regular season, not train ourselves for the Detroit Lions. So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind, and both things can be true. It can be cool, but at the same time, where I think it's important to have your focus on what you're working on. Otherwise, what you're working on will suck.
I was going to ask, what has it done about Taj Washington with missing that rookie year last year, coming back and having some good practices and a good game on Sunday?
No, I think I saw some of his teammates really respond to both his practice in the joint setting and really the game. I thought it was kind of his introduction to the team, so to speak, and they were juiced. And so what does that mean? He's capable of making plays. Now, that gets your foot into the door into the process. Now, Taj is very focused on being reliable playmaker. That is fully tooled in all phases, and isn't as good with or without the ball. So it was exciting. There's nothing better than, to me, being on the field with a guy that makes a play on the heels of an extended rehab, because all those days, everybody sees the result, they see the catch, but they don't see the hours upon hours of work that goes into getting back on the field. So it's an important moment to have. I was pumped for him, but like Taj, I'm ready for the next step, which starts today, and every practice after here, to see if he can be a consistent playmaker like he wants to be.
I want to ask about one other former Lion, Benito Jones, how much he's grown since he came back to the Dolphins, and even getting half a sack, his pass rush abilities flourishing a little bit.
No, I think what a cool part, or what a cool part in his career, Benito, to kind of in the vein of other guys like Zach Sealer, that you move around to a couple teams in a couple years, but the entire process you're focused on your game, and you open your eyes and you're a better player than when you left. So I think he's a guy that is very galvanizing in the locker room, is known to be dependable, to be about the right stuff. He drives big trucks and wears overalls and is a person unique to himself, and I think he's doing a great job being himself and flourishing at that.